Back to Life came out of the major project of the Rotary Club of Kingston.
Our effort was to get something meaningful.
Something that would be impacting to address our social and economic conditions in Jamaica.
We formed Back to Life, a male youth empowerment organization to mentor boys at risk, and by so doing, help both young professional men and boys to become better men in society.
There aren't very many opportunities for men and boys to come together, for men to show the way, for boys to behave. We've somehow lost that in our culture.
These are boys who have been accustomed to abandonment, are not familiar with love and care.
I have been a mentor for over 4 years now and counting.
I have been a mentor almost 4 years. Every other Saturday that we sojourn to Rio Cobre and we interact with the boys, I get this feeling of a father, I get this feeling of a big brother, I get this feeling of a confidant.
I've had 2 mentees, but really and truly it's been more because the boys really gravitate towards me. So whenever I'm there and able to accommodate those who might not have been assigned to a mentor as yet, I try my best to provide a sort of guidance with them as well.
Have you ever seen a flower or a plant that is desperate for water and then you feed it and a couple of hours later you watch it, you just see it bloom and lift its weary head and blossom? That's what I've seen with the boys.
Basically, I spent 1 year and 4 months in the Back2Life program. My mentor was like a brother to me, or more likely a father. So I don't know the type of relationship I might have with Stewie.
We know that mentoring for young black people saves lives and it changes lives. It not only changes the lives of the mentee who is in that relationship, but we know it has the effect of changing the lives of the mentor in that relationship. Mentoring is important. I would say that there's no one who is successful in life who has not had a mentor in their lives. And without mentoring, without someone to help guide him from a critical perspective, to help him understand that your questions are good questions and keep asking questions and keep questioning what's in front of you, because that's the way we make it better. Without that kind of thinker alongside the young man, it tends to become imperiled.
Yeah, I think that every boy should have a mentor, because in the long run, when you have a mentor, sometimes you can't fall short, unless definitely if you want to fall short in your life.
Where we see young men receiving positive messages and being sown with messages that uplift who they are from the standpoint of promise, we see those young men living into that promise, and not only living into that promise, but translating positive and beautiful messages back to the next generation, so that you have this regenerative, restorative process that begins to take hold.
Back to Life has played a very integral role in the life of Rio Cobre for a number of years. It has caused them to focus. They're able to look within themselves and see the difference between the life that they're coming from, where they are now and where they really want to go, and to sort of pull out the potential that is within them.
The Back2Life program was there before I thought I would get myself in trouble.
Junior is moving positive since he come back. Even last night, we saw him and he said, well, boy, in a life you have a little black, either like a black machine that he could make building block and so on. And I said, right, make it work together. I try to help him out and try to set a little, you want a little business for himself and can get him thing going, you know?
At least 3 to 4 times per week, we're in contact, we're WhatsApping, we're talking on the phone. And you know, one of the things is to know that they still include me in their day-to-day life, they still include me in their decision making.
In fact, it was just the other day I got a call from my most recent one telling me that he has gotten registered at a new school, and he just wanted me to continue to give just that word of support. And that alone tells me that hey, something truly is going on with Back2Life.
There was this one instance where there was this one mentee. He was one of the most outstanding ones before he left. And I went to Montego Bay for a voluntary outreach event and I saw him there. And I look at it and I say, look how me used to volunteer with you and you there now volunteer. You know, and I think it was like just probably a month after he left, I had the event down there, and it was just one of the best feelings ever seeing him, you know, out there and practicing some of the things. And we had a good chat, you know, because he always wanted to become a chef. And I say, you start the process, and him say, yeah man, me start, look about the school and all of that.
They say they want some young lifeguards. Next year, I will be 18 December. So next year, they say, next year April, I could sit the first one. So next year April coming, I will try my best.
Our form of mentoring is, I can either call it conscious mentoring or developmental mentoring. This is where the focus is on the mentee. This is based upon various assumptions that the mentee has genius inside of him. You can't teach somebody genius, but what you can do is work with them to eke it out of them. So what we do is we train our mentors to work with the propensities that the boy has, the natural propensities which he has inside of him, and help him to develop them, help him to learn who he is and how powerful he is, and help him to be resourceful so that he can use his skills and abilities to do good things in his life.
One of the things I like the most about the program is that it's men mentoring boys, because a lot of these boys in the facilities, they don't have any male figure, any role model to look up to in their home, and we give them that.
So there are 3 parts to what we're about in the mentoring program. One is to help the boy to come to terms with where he is. Many of them are angry and resentful, so it's important for them to come to understand how they got there. It's not a question of fault or blame, but it is a question of accountability and recognizing that in part there must have been some part that they played, and even if they didn't, they're here now. So what can they learn from the situation? The second part then is how to survive while they're there, because for many of them it's a shock. They're in depression. So as mentors, our job is to help them to make the adjustment, to master some skills that will keep them safe and well, so that they can start planning for a future beyond Rio Cobre. And then of course the third part is to prepare them for the exit from Rio Cobre. Our mentor training is accredited by an international organisation called the IAPCNN, which means that it meets certain standards of quality.
The training really is critical. The training is paramount to the success of being a successful mentor, a continued mentor, as well as to the longevity of a mentorship relationship with the boy and the mentor himself.
Successfully completing an accredited course assists mentors who want to go into mentoring professionally.
As a trained teacher and counselor, I truly can say that it has honed my skills in a lot of ways. Personally speaking, it has caused me to have this new sense of joy, this new sense of passion to serve. It has become now a part of my life. It's like a religious duty now.
I've been with the Back2Life program for over 2 years. So it's been 2 years, 2 really great, rewarding, self-finding years. I think I've probably learned more about myself than the boys probably have learned from me.
I've known Joel for 3 years. We work together, so it's a professional capacity. I really have seen where in any situation that I have put him, because he reports to me, he seems to shine and basically thrives and works very well under pressure. Back2Life has certainly helped to develop Joel's leadership skills. In the role that he plays in our organization, he has to take initiative in certain situations, but there are instances when he also has to lead groups of external contractors. The experience with Back2Life has certainly helped him to be more assertive in these situations.
In my line of work, I am in marketing and sales, and one of the most interesting things is to understand why people behave the way they do, the psychology behind it. And because of the training that I've received through Back2Life, the interactions that I've gotten through, I can safely say that I'm able to understand people I'm able to identify their different cultures and the way they interact with each other.
Well, I've known Stuart Dawkins for over 10 years, and I've known him in both a professional capacity and in a personal one. I think given what Back2Life requires of him, and I think that has helped to hone his time management skills and his just being more targeted and more focused. He's a marketing and sales rep. He has to interface with a very wide target group, especially within the education industry. And he has to build relationships. And I think the Back2Life program has helped him to really hone that expertise. It's a holistic social enterprise that benefits and impacts everybody, including the mentors. And that in turn extends and impacts the organization if they're so lucky to be working with one, or their own private entrepreneurial venture if they have one, or just their lives.
I know that Back2Life would have analyzed what they have done to see the kind of impact that they have had and to see how much more they could do, and I believe that there's more. I think the program should be extended.
The program at Rio Cobre was always planned to be replicated in other institutions and up-level it so that it can be used in schools, sports clubs, anywhere where boys proliferate and get together.
Improvement can come in many forms. Having the support from corporate Jamaica, of course, not even just supplying the cash, but also visiting with us and seeing the work that Back2Life is really carrying out on a day-to-day basis.
The success is there in terms of training of some 60 mentors.
We have seen about certainly over 100 mentees, boys in the center who have graduated through, passed through the system and have moved on. So the successes are many. It is watching transformation of the mentees, is watching the human development of the mentors, is getting the conversation out there in the public at large. And we are very grateful. While we are right now concentrating on boys at risk, there are also boys who are not at risk, who can just improve upon being good boys or good men.
The rewarding experience is a great one. I have a mentee in particular. This young man, he calls me, and we're talking about, one that has left the facility, calls me for guidance, moral support and all that. And he made mention of something critically important where he said, the truth is, Sheldon, I really want to make it because I don't want to let down Back2Life.
Don't write them off. Don't write them off. Give them a chance. Bring them back to life.
Step up, be a man, be a leader.